Hi there. This is going to be a little addendum to the video that I just did on Mars retrograde and Venus retrograde and the Mercury retrograde cycles that we're still technically in the midst of. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention about Mars is because it has everything to do with our impetus, drive, thrust, how we attack getting things done, what most inspires us. It also has very much to do with our physicality. So during that period, which 10, 11-week cycle, you don't really have the same physical drive that you normally do. It's like the oomph, is kind of usurped out of you. It's just not always there. So there's a lot of fits and starts, stops and starts with projects. And so therefore I don't recommend it to be a time. The same with Venus retrograde, which we just completed yesterday, but because of the shadow period, it's not over yet really for 2-3 weeks longer. So it's not a good time to start projects, the opening of a business, or, gee, I want to do a major undertaking, I want to remodel my home. And the reason being is because you're going to change your mind about some of your ideas and concepts at the close of it. You might pick out fabrics or drapes or furniture or a particular style, or this is how I want to redo my kitchen. And then, you might get partway through that, and now one of those planets goes direct, and you're going, why did I think that I wanted to do that? I don't want my kitchen to look like that. What was I thinking, really? And so, you can ask yourself over and over again, and you'll do this. You'll go through these processes in your mind because it's a very kind of inverted time. The energy becomes much more internalized than externalized. So what happens is you're running over these decisions in your mind over and over and over and over, and you think, okay, how many times can I go over this? But you're going to have a propensity to do that, and then you do that, and you're like, okay, I'm absolutely certain this is exactly the design I want. And then you get 3/4 of the way through it, and Venus goes direct, Mars goes direct, and you're going, I don't think I like that after all. We're going to have to change this. So I don't recommend tackling major projects at this time, although a lot of things are going to break down, and you definitely will have to fix things at this time. And that's okay. If it's a major undertaking, the cycle changes. You may want to make some changes again, because you'll be saying, well, I went and got this water heater because I thought it was the one that would best suit our house, and now that's not really what I wanted, or they didn't have the brand I wanted, so I got this one. Things like that happen all the time. So it is actually a really good time to clean your garage, or reorganize, or wow, I have a lot of paperwork that I need to go through. This is a good time to do that and tackle things like that. So it's not really a good time to try to run a marathon or do something physically, and get your best time of that, because you're physically, honestly, you're not going to be feeling like you quite have the power, and you don't, especially not when Mars is retrograde. Venus really not so much either, but Mars, because that really, it has to do with your physicality quite a lot. So, and pay a lot of attention to schedules, because schedules really fall apart. People don't follow through with their plans. They intend to, that's a key word, intend, because it's just that, you know, you get dressed, you get up to do it, and yeah, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go on this hike today, or, and then you go, you know what, I don't really feel like it. I'm not up for it. And so, consequently, you know, you change your mind. And literally, again, I'm going to repeat, you know, Mercury, Venus retrograde, now in the Mercury, planet of communication. So all kinds of plans and schedules are definitely going to go awry at this time. And you make plans and you put them on a schedule and you go, you know, 3 days later, that date really isn't going to work for me. Why did I pick that date? I don't really want to do it on that day. And I knew that, and so I'm going to have to call and change that. So just a lot of unexpected things come up, and plans don't really just play out the way that you had intended. So you're going to have to be looking out for that now for like the next 4 weeks. So there's going to be a lot of changes, especially through the holidays. I really was thinking that I was going to plan my Thanksgiving with this person or with my family, or I was going to travel here. And there's going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be a lot of mishaps traveling. Honestly, I'm not a fan of flying when Mercury is retrograde. You know, so many things can happen. I mean, I'll just say it really quickly. I brought this up on a previous video, but it's happened to me one time. My luggage was lost, and I really took it for lost because it didn't show up until 6 weeks. 6 weeks later, it shows up. And the guy tells me, oh, we was sitting in this airport in New York, and you know, for 6 weeks, and I said, New York? I didn't even go to New York. I'm living in Maui, you know, not currently, but I was then, and I thought, I didn't even go in that direction. I had no, how was it there? Anyway, these things happen. Another time I was on a transatlantic flight, and it was the weirdest thing. And we're taking off, and we're taking off, and we're accelerating, and we're accelerating, and we're accelerating. And everybody's like, you know, getting back in their seat. And all of a sudden, we start decelerating. And everybody is looking around like, what's going on? And this was a major flight. And so, you know, we stop, and the pilot gets on and he says, I have to tell you, our hydraulics are not working. So we will not be taking off right away. We're going to have the mechanics assess the situation. And of course, by then, everybody's thinking, well, you know, then if you're going to say it's going to be good to go in an hour, 2 or 3 hours, and how confident are you going to feel about getting on that plane? Well, I wasn't. And I thought, oh my gosh, and all these people start racing for the door. And so then, you know, I don't know, they said it was going to be like 4 hours or something like that. So everybody's looking for other flights, possibilities. And so they go to this gate, such and such. And so many of us filed off and headed in that direction. And like I said, I didn't think I wanted to get back on that plane because I didn't have much confidence in it. And I was an astrologer, so I knew full well this was more than 20 years ago. And I thought, you know, so anyway, these are, oh my God, you know, if you have to fly through the holidays, good luck is all I'm going to say. You know, I don't want to scare you, but I do want to create an awareness, because it is really a very touch and go time, and to say the least, even if you have to drive a few hours to go visit someone, your schedule's probably going to be off, or something could happen, or it may not be you, or somebody else could get in an accident, and that highway that you need to take could be blocked off, and then you have to be rerouted. I mean, these are very typical things that happen, and I've traveled, even driving, and these things have happened, and I thought, well, yes, I know Mercury's retrograde, yes, I know Venus and Mars, or Mars is retrograde, I really don't want to travel, but I have to go and see this person, I can't change this, and sometimes it happens, you absolutely have to go, and, but I'm going to tell you, just be prepared to expect delays, or something to go wrong, or you might have something go wrong with your car, and just be very, very careful, I have to say this, of other drivers. It doesn't have to be you, but there definitely are, it's just a higher probability for more car accidents to happen at this time. So you might want to think about, just keeping a little extra distance behind you and the car in front of you. Again, I'm speaking of experience from 28 years of observing these cycles. So I went longer than I wanted to on this one, but I'm going to follow it up with another one. I just want to talk about Uranus real quickly, and then I'm going to talk another short one again about how I approach the reading. Okay, thank you for now, and we'll catch up real soon.